My name's Haley Rosenberg, and we're in San Diego, California. I had my son, Connor, on July 9th, 2021. I had a perfect, normal 41-week pregnancy and went into labor naturally and started pushing for a couple of hours and decided I couldn't anymore. So I asked for a C-section, and so they wheeled me in, and when they pulled the baby out, he was not breathing. They brought the baby back to the NICU to get him to start breathing. They finally got a heartbeat. He was diagnosed with severe HIE. He was transferred to another hospital and placed immediately on a cooling mat and was cooled for 3 days and then warmed back up. And after they warmed him up, that's when they did an EEG and saw that he had 0 brain activity due to the lack of oxygen during my labor. And so at that point, if he even survived another day, he probably would have 0 quality of life. We never saw his eyes. His kidneys weren't working, like his whole body was just failing. And so we ended life support because we really had no other choice. And of course we were heartbroken because we hadn't expected anything like this to happen. Everything was absolutely perfect the whole entire time. So as soon as we started talking to our family about like his actual diagnosis and everything, we started Googling. And the first thing that comes up on Google when you Google HIE is lawyers. And so we kind of looked into it and we didn't really understand why and looked more and more into it. And one of our friends actually called us, and she's a lawyer in Northern California. And she referred us to Lisa. And so we had a call with Lisa the very next day. She was completely understanding and has heard exactly of this whole situation happening. Due to COVID, we did a Zoom call, a lot of Zoom calls and regular phone calls, and she got all of our medical records and everything. So Lisa sent 2 demand letters, one to the OBGYN practice and one to the hospital. And the hospital immediately settled with us, and the OBGYN did not. They never answered, so we then filed the lawsuit with them. And after we did that is when they finally responded saying that they'll settle with us. So we didn't end up having to go to court or mediation or anything. So because of the state that we're in, I think a lot of lawyers wouldn't take our case because there's like no money in it and no amount of money would bring our son back, but someone should be accountable for such a horrible thing to happen. And so Lisa was just so amazing to actually take our case and spend as much time as she did on it to bring some sort of justice to the situation we had to go through and losing our son. So my husband and I, we want to thank Lisa and Grant Eisenhofer for putting themselves out there for us and really helping us see the light at the end of the tunnel and get closure on our whole situation.